Guys, Caleb here, and today I'm going to be showcasing the 6 epic custom Hunger Games minifigures that I made. If you're new here, this is pretty much the series where I, just go over 6 custom minifigures I made, and the very last one is always my favorite, so make sure to stick around to the end to see my favorite minifigure. So I really haven't talked about it on the channel much. Hunger Games is one of my favorite movies, and one of my favorite books for sure. I've only read the first two, but so far they're really good, and I've seen the first movie. It's an incredible movie, and it's a really good series that I would highly recommend for anybody. And I was just going to make another series of James Bond minifigures, because I've done quite a few of those, but I was getting a little bit bored of the James Bond minifigures. So I wanted to spice it up a little bit and try something different, and I was reading the Hunger Games, and I thought, oh, why don't I just make Hunger Games minifigures? So that is exactly what I did. As much as I wanted to make a PETA minifigure, I just could not get his hair. It was like different in every picture that I found of him. Gail's hair was different, and so PETA's hair was different. So I didn't make a PETA minifigure, and I will not make a PETA minifigure until I figure out what hairpiece I want for him, because his hair is incredibly hard to get. But for now, I'm just going to showcase all 6 of these, and at the end, it's going to be my favorite. So let's dive right in. Starting off, we have the main character, Katniss, and she did turn out pretty good. I pretty much just based it for, like, when she was in war and she had all of her gear and stuff on. She does have a bow and arrow. I was trying to find a bow and arrow, but I could not find a bow and arrow for the life of me. So I pretty much just gave her a crossbow on her side, and I think it does work for now. She's got a little quiver with arrows in the back, and just has a lot of weapons and gear on her, and she did turn out pretty good. She has the same head and hair as Rey from Star Wars, which is kind of interesting, but I honestly thought it worked really well, and so I went with it, and I am pretty happy how it turned out. If you look at a picture of her and then look at a picture of her minifigure, they do look quite similar, and she did turn out pretty good. I actually made a second version of Katniss, this from when she was pretty much riding in the chariot into, like, the big parade or whatever, and her dress was, like, on fire, and it was actually part of the dress that, like, her and Peeta's costume lit on fire. I thought that was a really cool scene, and I knew I wanted to make a minifig on fire like this, so she's pretty much kind of holding a fire piece, has fire sort of climbing up her dress, and it definitely looks pretty good. She has her hair more braided back in this look, has a dress and everything, and definitely looks really cool. Definitely looks like she's lit on fire, just like she is in the movies, which is pretty cool, and I am pretty happy how she turned out. I made Cinna, who's pretty much her stylist and Katniss' stylist, and he turned out pretty good. I think he's kind of a cool character, and so I figured I'd make him. I gave him little scissors, almost as if he's giving Katniss a haircut. He's got sort of black clothing, and that looks pretty good. And got sort of a stern expression and short black hair, just like he is in the movie. And I do think it looks pretty accurate to the actual movie, and he is a pretty decent minifigure. Figured if I couldn't make PETA, I would have to make Gale, and Gale definitely turned out looking a lot like that Hemsworth who played him, and he definitely looks really good. I kind of got his, like spiked back hair, or, slick back hair like that, and I definitely think I captured his hair pretty well with this hairpiece. He's got kind of like a smirk on, and that looks pretty good, and he's got kind of a satchel, which is a cool piece on this, white kind of flannel or whatever. He's got some brownish pants, and I pretty much based it off this look of him. And he definitely looks a lot like that version of him, kind of with the white coat and the, thing around his waist. And definitely his hair looks a lot like Gale, and he's a pretty good minifig. This guy isn't exactly a named character, but he's definitely one of my favorite minifigs I made in this wave. Pretty much built a Peacekeeper, who are pretty much the police officers or stormtroopers of the Hunger Games, and they're really cool looking, so I figured I would have to make one of these, and it turned out looking incredible. Like, if you face it like that and put it next to the actual, Peacekeepers all lined up, they look very similar. He's actually got the same legs and torso as a stormtrooper, which is very interesting. He's got binoculars, he's got, like, a blaster, and he pretty much has a visor, which you can flip up and flip down. He's got some, like, shoulder pads on, and he definitely looks a lot like the actual Peacekeepers in it, I feel like. And I am very, very happy how this Peacekeeper minifigure turned out. But not least, my favorite custom minifigure I made for the Hunger Games, and my favorite character in the Hunger Games, is Haymitch. That's right. I pretty much made Haymitch because he is my favorite character. He's just this drunk guy. He's always drunk, and he's just hilarious. He adds some humor to the movie. And he's my personal favorite character, so I figured I had to make him. I wanted him like a wine glass, but I couldn't quite find the wine glass piece or wine bottle piece. So I kind of just gave him like a mug of bourbon or whatever. He's got kind of a coat, got some khakis. I think his hairpiece definitely matches him, and he's even got some stubble just like the actual version of Haymitch, which is pretty cool. And he's, yeah, just got this coat, and it looks so much like the actual version of Haymitch, which is really my favorite part. It's just, this looks so much like the actual Haymitch, and it is my favorite Hunger Games minifig I made. Have it, guys. These are the 6 custom minifigures I made for the Hunger Games. I honestly am quite happy how they turned out. Let me know if the comments if there's anybody you want me to make for a second wave of these. I might do a second wave in the future if this is actually popular. Let's hope it is. And the Seabreak Productions sign off for now. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, subscribe if you want to stay up to date with my latest videos. And I will see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.